Hi, I'm Jonah, and this is a Discover New Sounds for the modes. And what a mode is it's a variation on a major diatonic scale. And we shift where the tonic note, or the first note in the scale is, we shift that within the scale, and that gives the feel of the scale, or this mode, becomes different. The feel becomes different. Now this particular video is on the Aeolian mode, or it's also called the natural minor scale. And this mode it's a minor, so it has a lot of feeling to it, and I really enjoy playing this mode. I love the feeling that it invokes. So I'll play a little improvisation on it, and then I'll show you the fingering chart and talk about that a little bit, and then I'll show you physically how the scale looks on the flute, and then I'll talk more about how to invoke the feeling of this mode, and how to be sure to use to emphasize the new tonic note, and a little bit more about the mode in general, and then I'll play another improvisation on the scale, maybe even two. So this is the fingering chart for the Aeolian mode. And the first thing to notice is this is the tonic note here. And it's two holes open on the bottom of the flute. So the modes are the only scales so far that I've shown you in the Discover New Sounds tutorial series that start at this position. You start with these two holes open on the bottom. And the reason that we start here is because it allows for the note below this tonic note to be a whole finger open versus a half hole. And as I'll explain later, being able to approach this tonic note from down below the octave, moving up towards it, especially going from this note to the tonic note here, really emphasizes the feel of this tonic note being that landing place, that ending place, pausing place, that root of the scale itself. And so being able to play this next note down as a whole finger versus a half finger makes it a lot easier to transition back and forth between these two notes. Now you'll notice that this note here is also part of the scale, and this is the lowest note on your flute, and it's also the tonic note for the pentatonic minor scale, which is the first scale we all learn. Because that's the tonic note for that scale, I find that when I play it within this Aeolian scale, it tends to want to pull me back into that pentatonic minor feel, and it tends to pull me away from the Aeolian feel. So I'm careful how I use this note, and I tend to go from that note right back into the tonic note. So but play with it, and you'll notice how it tends to want to create that pentatonic scale feel to it. And what we're trying to invoke is the Aeolian scale feel. Now, the other note that's available is this note here. And the reason I have it down lower here and not within all the notes themselves is because it's a pretty challenging note to hit correctly. The half hole can often sound like wavery or just sound out of tune. And so I didn't want to have it cluttering up the scale itself. So it's available if you want to use it, because it is within the scale. However, in general, it tends to be pretty challenging to learn. That said, play around with it and see how it goes. Now, the most challenging part of the rest of the scale is the cross fingerings. And so you just need to teach your fingers the dexterity of these different combinations of notes. And what I find really helpful is I print this or have it up on my screen. And as I'm playing, I can visually look at the notes and remember what's in the scale and what's not. Now, the other fingering that can be challenging is this one here, where all the holes are open. And you have to hold the flute between your pinkies, thumbs, and your mouth. And what that looks like is this. Notice how my pinkies and my thumbs are balancing the flute up against my mouth. Now, the last thing to look at is this note here. And this note is an over the octave note. So in order to play this note, you'll need to use a real forceful type of tonguing called staccato type tonguing, where it's real ta, 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 real poignant in order to pop the flute up into the higher octave range. And each flute is different as to how much pressure you need to use in order to get it to jump up to that higher octave range. So you'll have to play with it with your flute or each individual of your flute if you have more than one. Now on deeper tone flutes, like a bass tone flute or even a mid-tone F sharp, this note will tend to be flat. And so we give this alternate fingering, which can sharpen it up a little bit. But even then, a lot of times, like the deeper bass tones, like from a bass tone D deeper, tends to still be flat. So if you're playing on your own and you like the way this note sounds, like on your bass tone flute, you go for it and you keep using it. However, if you're playing with other musicians, like a piano or guitar or even another flute, you might want to avoid playing this note when you're playing those bass tone flutes. Now, if you haven't played with jumping over the octave before, what I'd suggest is going back and forth between this note and this note to really learn what type of breath pressure and tonguing you'll need in order to get your flute to consistently jump over the octave. It's also really helpful to go back and forth between these two notes to learn how to use that staccato type tonguing to get your flute to pop over the octave, but then immediately back off on the breath pressure in order to create a sweet tone in that high note versus creating a harsher tone, which if you continue with that heavy breath pressure can tend to happen. So the way that we create modes is we take a diatonic major scale and we change where the tonic note is in that scale. So for example, if you have a C diatonic major scale, the tonic note is C. But if we move that tonic note over to A, now we have an A Aeolian mode or an A natural minor scale. All the notes are the same, we just use a different note as the tonic note, as that first note in the scale. And that shift creates a different feel in the music and the melodies that we're playing. And why that invokes a different feeling is because the feeling of a scale is built on the relationships of the notes. And that relationship begins at that tonic note, at that first note. And so when you shift it, it shifts the feeling. And so what you'll want to do in your playing is you'll want to emphasize that shift, especially by emphasizing that new tonic note, by using that, by going back to that root note, that tonic note, continually for your stopping places, for your places of pausing or stopping. Not every single time, but a lot. You'll really want to emphasize that, and you'll notice that it'll invoke that feeling, a new feeling. And you'll notice that as you approach that tonic note in certain ways, right? Like one note, next note, and then you go to that tonic note. Sometimes it'll create a feeling of finality, of resolution. That's the feeling that you want. Other times you'll approach it, you'll hit one note, then the next note, and then you'll hit that note, and it's that tonic note, and it still feels like there's motion, like there's tension or motion in the song, like it wants to keep going. And those are the combinations that you'll want to avoid, going up to that tonic note, because that's not invoking that feeling. Or use that and then keep going and then invoke that feeling of resolution. So you want to play with that, and you can watch my improvisations and see how I really try to emphasize that tonic note. Now, if you want to learn more about modes, because I'm really just barely touching the surface here about modes, one, online, there's tons of information online. So you could learn from what they are, their history, how they're created, really anything you want to learn is there. And on the website for this tutorial, there's a document by a man named Ivan Iriarte that goes into very accessible detail about modes and how they're played on the Native American flute. And he does a great job at laying it all out in a very accessible way. So I'd really encourage you, if you're interested, to look at that. And there's exercises on there that you can use in order to learn how to invoke the feeling of the mode. There's songs. He has a song for each of the modes. He has a song that's in that mode. So he really did a great job, and I really appreciate this document and encourage anybody who's interested to take a look at it. It's a free download off of the webpage for this tutorial. Also available for download on that webpage are the fingering charts for the Aeolian mode. Now, the one on the left is the one that we've been working with in this tutorial. However, there are these other two ways to play it on your flute as well. The one that we've been working with has the advantage of having a little more straightforward fingering, and you can approach the tonic note from below, from a deeper note. And I've had a lot of fun with these other variations, and perhaps you will too.